Welcome to Dateline Schools, a presentation of St. Clair County RESA, with your host, Chris Troy.
Many of us log onto our computers every day to check our email, do some shopping, or simply get caught up with friends on certain computer apps. But before we do this, we should think about internet safety and all the things that could go wrong by simply logging on. To help us take a look at this week on Dateline Schools is Brody McFarlane, who is an IT specialist at St. Clair County RESA. Brody, thanks for being with us.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
So Brody, we always hear about internet hackers. Is that a real big concern we should have?
Oh yeah, it's becoming more of an issue as time goes on. The more technology advances, the more it just gives attackers an opportunity to do what they do.
And who are these attackers?
So there's a large range from script kiddies, those are the kids who just are, practicing, they download stuff off the internet, to like government-funded hackers, mostly from foreign countries, North Korea, Syria, more of like the Middle East and Asian countries like that.
Well, Brody, what would be the draw of hackers attacking small communities like the ones we live here in St. Clair County?
Mostly money. North Korea actually funds a majority, if not all, of their nuclear program from ransomware and hacking.
Well, Brody, I'm sure a question that a lot of people are asking out there who receive these notifications on social media. I've been hacked. Don't reply to my emails. Don't accept my friend request. Just what good does it do to actually hack someone's social media?
So what can happen is usually someone will receive a message posing as, a friend saying, "Hey, I saw this video. Is this you?" And you click on the link and it'll ask you to sign in with your Facebook information. Once you put in that information, it's actually just being relayed back to the attacker. Therefore, they can kind of spread that message and keep gaining these access to these accounts, and they can kind of just do whatever they want. They can pose as you. They can start asking your friends, "Hey, like I'm in a pinch. Do you mind sending me $20? Can you do this for me?" So really, it's a way it's almost as a form of identity theft. They really just want to act as you and get whatever they can out of you.
Brody, you always hear change your password frequently while being online. Does that really help?
So changing your password can be important because if there was a data leak with a certain company you had an account with, like if you had an online shopping account with like Amazon, if they had a leak, that information can be stored somewhere. Attackers can have your username and password. They can sign in to Amazon and do whatever they want. I mean, most people have their credit card saved in there. Then they'll have your credit card information. They can buy whatever they want. And it's really important to change those passwords because if something like that happens, they can try that password, but if you already changed it, then they're kind of like out of luck. They know that information's current, so it's really just out of date and useless to them.
Well, let's bring this a little closer to home. As a video producer here at RESA, I don't have government secrets or even financial information on my computer. So why are we required to change our passwords so often?
So attackers really look for an opportunity to use somebody's account for lateral movement. So what they will do is if they can gain access to somebody's account, they can pose as that person and try to spread the message to, let's say you can start emailing the IT department and say, "Hey, I'm having issues with this file. It's not opening for me. Do you mind opening it? Is it something not wrong with my computer?" That can install a virus on the IT person's machine and they can gain access to all of the IT systems if that person has access.
So if I receive an email from a store with coupons or some offer, and I've never heard of the place before, what should I do to know if it's legit or not?
So the best practice would be to ignore it if you can report it as phishing. If you're unsure if it is a phishing attempt or if it's a legitimate email, you can always ask the IT department. They'd be more than happy to look into it, investigate, see if it's legitimate or not.
So Brody, with the holiday seasons coming up and being upon us, a lot of people are shopping online. If I see an ad come through on my Facebook account and it looks like something I may be interested in to buy as a gift, how can I feel confident that I can click on that link without becoming hacked?
So the best practice is if you do see an ad that looks enticing, like a handbag you'd like to purchase, go to the website itself. So if it's posted as a Macy's ad, go right onto Macy's website, see if you can find that same bag. Another thing to look out for is if the advertisements seem too good to be true. Like if it's a high, like a designer handbag and it's $20, probably most likely not going to be either a legit bag or a legit purchase. So it's worth going to the website and seeing if it's there.
Are there any steps that you can take, maybe using an outside pay service or something, with dealing with these kinds of, those kind of purchases to make you feel a little safer?
I know one thing I like to do if I am unsure about purchasing from a certain service, I will use a PayPal. PayPal is really good at disputing charges, so if it is something fraudulent, they're really good at helping you out if you're having issues with it.
So I guess the best way to feel comfortable with shopping is to use a company like a PayPal or somebody that you've worked with before that's looking out for you.
Yeah, using something that has a good customer service like PayPal, or I know Apple has their Apple Card. One of the settings you can enable is a rotating card number. So if that card number did manage to go to somebody non-legitimate, that once that payment goes through, that card now has a different card number. So when the attacker tries to use that payment somewhere else, it's gonna fail.
Brody, you hear a lot of times of people having their computers hacked and frozen out, with then a ransom being issued to unfree it. If that happens, is there anything that you can do?
So there are a few steps. The first step we recommend is make sure you unplug it from, if it's wired in through like Ethernet connected to your Wi-Fi at home. Make sure you unplug that so it prevents it from spreading to any of your other devices. It's also worth looking into is sometimes they require a decryption key to get your data back. There has been some companies, their sole purpose is to get these decryption keys. So they might be posted for free online that you may be able to just grab off the web and punch it in, your computer's unlocked. Then you can worry about getting any of your personal data off and still taking your machine somewhere to get looked at to ensure there's nothing left behind.
Now, St. Clair County RESA handles a lot of St. Clair County schools' internet information. What is RESA doing to kind of keep all those schools and all those computers, and more importantly, all that data safe?
We do have software that detects any abnormalities that run on systems. So if it notices there's some weird network traffic going to Russia for some reason, that will get flagged, and a lot of our engineers will get alerts, and we immediately dispatch somebody to address the issue.
So you have a lot of kids out there who are in the libraries on the computer. What steps have RESA taken to kind of make sure they're not going to websites that they shouldn't be?
So for when they are at school, we have certain firewall rules set that they can't access, adult websites, anything like violence. On top of that, certain YouTube videos are blocked if they are marked as for a mature audience, because the students are not of age, they're marked under 18. They can't access these videos. When the students go home and use their Chromebooks, we have something called Securely, and that actually works as a secondary web filter that works at home to prevent them from doing the same thing, from going to any like violent sites or adult material.
Brody, many of us enjoy sitting in a coffee shop with our laptop using the shop's Wi-Fi. Should we worry about our safety while doing this?
So when connecting to a public Wi-Fi like that, it's always important to be careful what you are accessing. I would not recommend accessing like online banking or any kind of shopping, because attackers are able to capture that network traffic, and depending on the security of the site that you're trying to access, they can actually see the contents within that network traffic. So if you're trying to sign into your bank account and your bank account's not really up to date with the latest security standards, there's an opportunity for an attacker to gain access to your bank account, and they can send money wherever they'd like.
Is there any kind of indicator showing you the strength of a Wi-Fi security or something or is it just kind of the Wild West out there?
For most users, it is kind of the Wild West. Usually the things to look out for is the method of security for the password. Common ones that you see is like WPA or WPA2. Those are another ones. That can be super hard to distinguish if they're safe or not, but most public Wi-Fi is not going to have a password required, which means anybody out there can be connected to that, which can be extremely risky.
Let's talk about multi-factors. Kind of explain a little bit how those work.
Yeah, so multi-factor authentication is a secondary method of authenticating. So usually when you authenticate to, let's say, Facebook or your email account, you ask for your username and ask for your password. You hit enter, boom, you're in. So when you enable multi-factor, what it will do is you can set it up so it may text you a code. So you'll put in your username, your password, you hit sign in, then it's going to bring you up another pop-up box. Please enter the code. We sent you a text. Then you'll get a text in a few seconds saying your code is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then you punch that in, then you get right in. So the benefit of having multi-factor enabled is that if your username and password was leaked to somebody and they tried to sign in to your email, they would require that text that you received on your phone. So they would have to have access to your phone to be able to get that code to get signed in.
Well, thanks again for being with us this week and all the great information. For Dateline Schools, I'm Chris Troy. Dateline Schools is a presentation of St. Clair County RESA.